Do ligatures actually make a difference? Today, I'm going to test out 3 different ligatures, and let's find out how they impact my sound. Let's go. Before we get started on this video, leave a comment and tell me what ligature you're playing on. What's happening, y'all? Here in Atlanta, about to fly back home to New Orleans, and it's been a pretty crazy week. I started the week at the NOLA MusicCon, which is a music business conference. I went back to my old high school, did a masterclass over there, and I'm currently in Atlanta just wrapping up South Arts. They did a professional development weekend for artists. And so this whole week, I feel like I've been in a bunch of conversations and panels and listening to people lecture about the music business, life as a musician, booking, management, developing studios, just kind of playing centered things. And after all of these conversations, I kind of have taken away like one grand takeaway. We're going to assume you can already play, but the number one thing that everyone needs to learn how to do is develop relationships. And this entire industry is based on relationships. You want to, first and foremost, be cool. You want to be kind. You want to be respectful. You want to be easy to work with. You want to be punctual. You want to be a good communicator. Basically, just don't be a jerk. And, all of these opportunities that we have in this industry are going to come from relationships. All of my opportunities have come from good relationships. So, yeah, everyone was really spending a lot of time talking about the importance of relationships. So the number one takeaway for all musicians is develop your relationships. Be cool, be easy to work with, be reliable, and relationships. It's all about relationships. Pop quiz, what did you learn in my masterclass?
Look, we learned the root progression by Alvin Baptiste.
Whole tone scales.
Yeah, up
whole
half steps,
half
down
whole.
whole tone, up half whole,
I learned how to
down
not play
whole
in
half.
between people.
Then, yeah.
That's it? Did you learn the scale?
I learned a little bit more
He taught
about
us
Alvin
the
Baptiste.
reality of being a musician. Mr. Agid told me that give up on my dreams and get a real job.
Yes.
Said those words bar for bar.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That won't be edited out.
I be in my PJs, showing off my fashion, sitting on the sofa, keeping up with the Kardashians. So thank you for the invite, but I ain't going out tonight. It's kind of you to offer, but all I need to buy to cover. Winner, winner, pass me the shot, I don't need to spend no money. Then you're in it. Comments on everything. Sky is a limit. Shopping.
But I believe the audience is not there to see perfection. Nobody in the world thinks they're perfect. We don't relate to. We want to feel something. And when we do that perfect routine, it's not that we don't feel something, but we can feel more if the audience gets to see you walk. They don't want to see you fall. And when do we really ever fall? But we try to stop the world. And that's what the people feel.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to talk about ligatures and ask the question, do ligatures matter? First and foremost, what is the ligature? The ligature is simply the piece of equipment that holds the reed onto the mouthpiece. And when I think about the pieces of equipment that matter in creating a great sound on your instrument, of course, I think of the instrument itself, the clarinet. I think of the mouthpiece, I think of the reed, and the ligature. And the mouthpiece, reed, and ligature work in tandem to help create our sound. Ligatures can be made out of a variety of materials. They can be made out of metal, they can be made out of fabric, and they can also be some type of combination of the both. The material is going to impact how the reed responds. It's going to impact how the reed vibrates. And overall, it's going to influence our tone and our sound. When I think about relationships, I want to shout out Silverstein Ligatures. And I wanted to say thank you so much to Silverstein, because Silverstein is actually the first company that ever gave me a professional endorsement. And I met the cats over at Silverstein in 2014 at the Clarinet Fest in Baton Rouge. And that year, I was playing the evening jazz concert, and I played with Evan Christopher, Felix Pikely, and Harry Scholar. And a couple weeks before the event, Silverstein sent me an email. They asked me to come by the booth and try their ligatures. And I tried the ligatures. I thought they were fantastic. Thank you all so much for believing in me. Thank you so much for making a fantastic product. And I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you. Before we go on, I just got to say this. Y'all, you can't buy your way out of not practicing. As a musician and a music teacher, I want to be upfront about this. If you don't practice, it doesn't matter if you have a $10,000 clarinet, if you have a handmade $1,000 mouthpiece, if you have a $500 ligature, if you have a magical, one-of-a-kind, incredible reed, if you don't practice, none of that stuff is going to matter. And I promise you that musicianship, musicality will always shine regardless of the equipment that you're playing on. Once you've practiced, once you put in your time into the instrument, the equipment is here to help serve you, to help make your life easier. You want to play equipment that's fun to play on and that's reliable. Again, reliability is a really important part of choosing equipment. What matters to me most when I'm picking equipment? And the most important things to me are reliability and it feels good to play. You know, I play clarinet for 4-5 hours a day, and every time I play the instrument, I want to make sure I love it. So I play the clarinet that I play because I love it. I play the reeds that I play because I love it. And I play the ligature that I play because I love it. And just because equipment works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I think it's important for all of us to go through our own equipment journey. And ultimately, again, just because I play a certain setup doesn't mean it's going to be the right setup for you. As a musician, I think it's important to convey that message. Does equipment impact your tone and sound? Yes, but also no. And I don't know if y'all have ever had an experience where you've bought a mouthpiece or a new reed, and maybe you try the new piece of equipment and immediately you sound a little different. But then maybe after 2 or 3 weeks, you kind of revert back to the way you've always sounded. And that's because tone and our approach to the instrument is actually a mental construct, right? We have an internal ear that hears our instrument a certain way, and we're always going to gravitate towards that internal sound that we hear within ourselves. And the function of equipment is to help us get that sound out into the real world. So yes, equipment does impact your tone, but the mental construct that we have within ourselves is going to be a bigger factor in how we sound out in the real world. Just remember that equipment is never going to outshine musicianship. With all that being said, I've been playing on this Silverstein Estro ligature for the last 10 years or so. And I feel like Silverstein makes absolutely wonderful products. And it's a beautiful little diamond over here at the top. So this is the ligature I've been playing on for the last 10 years. I absolutely love it. And today I'm gonna play this ligature, and I also want to A-B it. Well, I'm actually gonna A-B-C it with 2 other ligatures. I'm gonna compare it to the Rovner ligature. Let's see if we can get this in focus. There we go. We got the Rovner Versa, and it's got a little metal plate here on the inside. And then I'm also gonna test it out with, I believe this is the ligature that came with one of my buffet clarinets years ago. And this is just a very standard, nothing super fancy about this ligature. So I wanted to play all 3 ligatures and see if y'all could hear a difference between the ligatures. If you are looking to purchase a ligature, I would highly recommend the Silverstein, either the Cryo 4 or the Estro. And I do know that these are rather expensive products. So if you don't have $300 for a ligature, I would definitely recommend the Rovner, any of the Rovners, especially the Versa. That's one of my favorites. I'm gonna play all 3 ligatures, and I'm curious if y'all can hear a difference in my tone. If I was to rank these three ligatures, I would say that my favorite is the Silverstein, number 2 is the Rovner, and of course, number 3 would be the Buffet. When I play the Silverstein, I feel like I have more overtones in my sound. I feel like there's a depth to my tone. The articulation is very easy. The reed vibrates really freely. And overall, I feel most comfortable playing on this product. Again, I feel like there's just a certain roundness and color in my sound when I'm playing on this Silverstein ligature. So number 1 would be the Silverstein. Number 2 would be the Rovner. This is a very quality product and it's about $60. So if you're working on a budget, I would highly recommend the Rovner Versa. And of course, it's kind of like a hybrid of fabric, and it's got a little metal plate on the inside. These ligatures are very reliable and they sound great. This is a quality ligature and you cannot go wrong with this one. Number 3 would be this ligature right here. And I feel like I'm not getting a full return on my investment with this ligature. And what I mean by that is I feel like I'm giving it 100%, but I'm only getting like 60% in return. I'm curious if y'all can hear a difference. And if you do, please leave a comment below. All right, y'all. So that's my hot take on ligatures. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day and I'll catch you next time. Peace.